Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Brockopp side. Replicas was directed by Jeffrey Nachmanoff, and after a neurosurgeon gets his entire family killed in a car wreck, Keanu Reeves decides to do the logical thing and just clone his family. Because, that's exactly what a totally sane person would do right after losing their family. Right? This movie felt very 90s in its execution, even from just the poster alone. And just on a little side note, when I went to go see this movie in the theater didn't even have the poster up on the digital marquee like they always do. So when you come into a movie like that, it's kind of not a good sign. But what I mean when I say the movie feels very 90s is that it just doesn't feel like a sci-fi movie of today. I think sci-fi is held up to a much higher standard today than it was arguably in the 90s, because this movie just feels, it just feels hokey, cheesy, bad dialogue, bad acting, and some really questionable CGI. That's also one of the big things I think about, because the CGI feels very outdated. I think if one were to go online and find a clip of this movie where they have this weird CGI robot, I don't think they would immediately assume it came from 2018. It looks more like something that came out before Jurassic Park did. Now, say what you will about Keanu Reeves and his acting ability. Personally, I'm a fan of Keanu Reeves myself, and he is undoubtedly the strongest performance in this movie, which unfortunately is not really saying much because the rest of the performances in this movie and the acting as a whole is just awful. John Norris and Alice Eve were also in this movie, and they have both been in movies previous to this one, movies like Star Trek Into Darkness and Bumblebee from last year, but here they just sound like it was their very first time reciting dialogue ever. A lot of their delivery was things like, "Well, William, you're gonna make me a rich man, right? Oh, William, I feel kinda weird. Come on, kids, we gotta go." Now, I was almost willing to give Alice Eve's character the benefit of the doubt with some of her delivery, because, well, when she comes back as a clone, she kinda acts a little weird to begin with, so I was like, okay, maybe just a clone trying to adjust to the real world or something, but no, she pretty much acts like that throughout the entire movie, so really can't give her a pass there. It's just straight up bad acting. I will admit there were a couple times in the movie where I was kind of along for the ride, just wanting to see where this part goes, but every time a part like that would happen, I would then stop to think about what I was actually watching, and everything just kind of started to fall apart every time I would try to think about it, because just nothing in this movie makes any literal sense. It's very void of logic. I mean, Keanu Reeves, his first thought, right after pulling his family out of the river, is, hey, let's clone these guys. He doesn't have time to grieve, he doesn't call 911, he just, nope, it's time to clone. Which also leads to another real problem, is that the cloning thing wasn't even properly established by that point in the movie. The movie opens with Keanu Reeves trying to take the soldier's consciousness and transfer it into a robot body, and that failed miserably, and he's trying to get that figured out. So it's like, okay, he's clearly talking about, transferring consciousnesses into, other beings and robots and things like that, but the cloning part doesn't come until after the family dies, so it just feels out of nowhere, because we think, okay, maybe he's gonna try to transfer their consciousnesses into robots, which I actually thought is what they were going to do, considering they showed the robot on the poster, but no, it's like, hey, you've had no success in cloning animals or transferring consciousness into this robot. Yeah, alright, let's just go straight to human cloning. Just do it in your basement. Call up your friend Thomas Middleditch. He's sure to help you out. It's just a real bummer, because if they had just simply established the cloning thing a little bit sooner in the movie, it wouldn't have come so much out of nowhere. So then the lack of logic is then coupled with some really lazy writing, like just certain plot points and issues that the characters have to get through. They're only existent and a problem because the script says so. When I heard how bad this movie was supposed to be, I at least wanted it to be like an entertainingly bad movie, and while I don't really think about that now, I do think maybe in a few months when it's out on Netflix or something, I don't think I'm gonna change my mind about it, but, at the moment, it's just a movie that every time I think about it, it gives my brain a real owie. But, I think it could lead to, like, an entertaining Friday night movie, coupled with pizza and alcohol. So all in all, Replicas is about 20 years too late, and just John Wick 3 can't get here any sooner. So, those are my thoughts on Replicas. If you guys have seen the movie, or if your family died and you're gonna clone them in your basement, let me know down below, and we'll see you on the Brockopp side.